Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about the possibility of the Washington Commanders trading for 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk, and if that could happen on draft night. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well. All those things help out a ton in terms of growing the channel, trying to get to 13,000 subscribers. So help me get there. Also, comment down below if you want the Commanders to trade for Brandon Aiyuk and how much you would give up for him. All right, so yesterday Mike Garafolo reported, or Mike Garafolo, not sure how, completely how to pronounce it, but shout out to him. He reported that the 49ers and star wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk aren't close to a contract extension. I believe he's going into a contract year with the 49ers. You look at his stats, and I guess this will confirm it. Was a first round pick a few years ago. Had a good rookie year. Second year was a little bit down. The last couple years he's had a couple very, very solid years, and this year I think he had over 1,400 yards, or close to 1,400, I guess. So his rookie year, 750 yards, then 826, then 1,000 yards, and then 1,342 yards with 7 touchdowns. So he's played for 4 seasons. Not sure if they picked up his 5th-year option or not, but yeah, he's looking for a contract extension, and they're very far apart on a deal, which means Brandon Aiyuk's looking for a lot of money. Can't blame him. Thing is, this did happen with Deebo Samuel, and he removed his 49ers stuff from social media and everything, and even was trash talking them a little bit or bad mouthing them, and it ended up working out. He got I don't know how big the deal was, but hey, he re-signed with the 49ers. And the only reason I'm talking about the possibility of him going to the Commanders is because Adam Peters obviously worked in San Francisco. So did Martin Mayhew when they did draft Brandon Aiyuk. And I don't know how big Martin Mayhew's role is going to be here. It might not be big, so it doesn't really matter. But Adam Peters obviously is the guy making the moves here. And yeah, he probably played a part in drafting Aiyuk. He definitely played a bigger part in drafting the later round guys, and I'm sure Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, played a bigger part in, drafting Aiyuk. But it is a guy he's familiar with, working with him for a few years, and Brandon Aiyuk is an elite receiver in this league at this point. Had the best year of his career, 75 catches, 1,342 yards, averaged 18 yards a catch, had a 76-yard catch. I'm assuming that was a touchdown, 7 touchdowns. Had 8 in 2022. He's a bigger receiver. Let's see what his height and weight is at. But he's a good route runner for a big receiver. Very good route runner. And I guess he's not as big as I thought. 6 foot, 200 pounds. I thought he was much bigger than that. Went to Arizona State. And did he overlap with Jaden Daniels? I'm trying to figure out. I guess he played in, he might have overlapped. I'm going to look in a second. If he did, it was like 1 season. So he was there in 2019. So I think he did overlap with Jaden Daniels a little bit. I'm just going to look it up right here. Jaden Daniels. So, hey, that would be a good, collab a little bit with, Jaden Daniels and, Brandon Aiyuk. So 2019, he was playing there. So, yeah, they did play together at Arizona State, so would be something that could make sense for the Washington Commanders if they want to reunite those two guys together. Maybe they could do it a separate way if the Commanders draft Jaden Daniels. Maybe they trade back into the first round and draft Brian Thomas. I'm not saying they should do any of these things. These are just hypotheticals, and who knows if we even take Jaden Daniels. That's just again, it's a hypothetical. They could take Drake May. They could take Jaden Daniels. They could even take J.J. McCarthy. I hope not, but they could take him. And my stance on this Brandon Aiyuk thing is I don't think it's very necessary to trade for him. They already have, Terry's a beast. You got Jahan Dotson, you drafted in the first round a couple years ago, and he had, very much had a down year this past season. But you still have hope, for a little bit of hope in him, and maybe Cliff Kingsbury can get him right. So I don't know, you still probably need a number 3, and I think you can do that in the draft. I just don't know if trading, let's say, a high second-round pick. I think that's what it's going to take for Aiyuk, plus paying him a lot of money is worth it is worth it. I really don't know if it is. Would I be opposed to it? No, because I'm going to trust Adam Peters, and if he really likes a guy that he worked with before who is a stud right now, again, 1,342 yards and 7 touchdowns. If he really wants to bring him in, I'm going to trust him because I'm going to trust that he knows his guys and, you know, his former guys, and he knows how much those guys are worth. And it's going to be we're going to have to pay him back. We do have cap space. It's going to be over $20 million a year, though, for Brandon Aiyuk. So you're going to have to keep that in mind. You're going to have 2 receivers that are getting paid over $20 million a year. But at the same time, you are going to be helping out your young rookie quarterback, and you'll still have another second-round pick to draft an offensive lineman with. You might have to give up more than a second. I'm just guessing. I think it'll be a high second. I saw some fan, it wasn't even a Commanders fan, it was someone on Twitter saying like a 3rd round pick and like a pick swap, something like that. It's going to take more than that for Aiyuk, but it's not going to be as much as some people think because of the contract you're going to have to pay him. And even though he is a very good receiver, I don't think he's necessarily an elite receiver. He's not top 5. He's debatably top 10, top 12 in this league. He had a very good season this past season, but there's other guys for sure that are better than him. And again, he's very good. He's a very good receiver, but he's going to get a lot of money, and you're going to have to give up draft compensation for him. And I think that you can find some good receivers in the 2nd, 3rd round. I really do believe so. I think you can find a hidden gem. Maybe Keon Coleman will be there for the Commanders in the 2nd round. It could happen, and they could get him, and they still need offensive line help. So I don't think receiver is the biggest problem for the Washington Commanders right now. They still do need to add to that position, but I think there's other ways they can do it besides spending over $20 million a year on Brandon Aiyuk plus giving up draft compensation for him. Just something to keep in mind. But of course, if we trade for him, we're going to give him an extension right away. That's just how it works with these, most of the time in the NFL, with these big-time trades for guys that are about to be free agents. You get an extension done, or at least you're very close to an extension. I don't think you should trade for a guy, give up a lot of draft compensation if you don't have a deal ready. Kind of like what the Bears did, but they didn't have a deal ready right away. It took at least, a few days or a week or so for them to get a deal done, but they probably had the understanding that, okay, we're going to get a deal done. We're just working on the, finalities of it, the, really small things, and they're able to get it done. So if that's the case, I'm with it, but I'm also, fine if they don't trade for him either. I don't think it's, Brandon Aiyuk is a necessity. But hey, I'm going to trust Adam Peters on this one. And, getting another receiver for your quarterback, your rookie quarterback, another security blanket is going to help him out. I do like this offensive core here with, let's say, Jaden Daniels, and you got Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson as your running backs, Terry, Aiyuk, Jahan, and then Zach Ertz. The only problem there is the offensive line. It got better in the offseason. It did get a little bit better. You still got Sam Cosmi, you got Tyler Biadasz, you got Nick Allegretti, and then maybe, Ricky Stromberg competing for that spot as well. And they, brought in some other guys as well. But they still need to add, I would say, at least 1 tackle, and then maybe another guy in the draft. I would say 2 guys they need to add before the start of the season, or before really the off-season drills and stuff start. Add a guy early in the draft and maybe a mid-round guy as well. And this trade, I'm guessing it'll happen around draft day if it happens, but it all could be nothing, and the 49ers could get a deal done with Brandon Aiyuk for a few years, and definitely could happen. Or they could just wait it out and then franchise tag him this offseason. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.